Those immersed in online apologetics and the Catholic influencer sphere have likely already heard of the scandal involving Alex Jurado, better known by his username Voice of Reason. Recognized as something of an apologetics prodigy, Jurado has quickly risen to internet prominence, discussing theology and debating representatives of other denominations, such as the Christian Orthodox Demise and Protestant James White. Now he faces allegations that he exchanged inappropriate messages with an underage girl, accusations that he firmly denies. Jurado's online profiles on various Catholic sites have been removed, and his movements within the apologetics industrial complex are presently restricted, until the air is clear at least. I won't rehash the details nor play judge, jury, and executioner here, but I will link to some articles in the description offering more information and context. I do want to comment on how the Voice of Reason debacle relates to various issues surrounding sexual scandal within the church. First, let's address something quite noticeable. Sexual scandals happen in corporate workplaces, schools, medical facilities, and non-Catholic religious organizations, just to name a few places. And yet, at least in my view, in the last several years, most media outlets seem to lambaste Catholics much harder than other offenders. Why is that? After sitting with some discomfort over this observation, an answer occurred to me. It's because the church sets itself up for such scrutiny and judgment by its zealous preaching of a remarkably strict sexual ethic and how it prides itself on being the ultimate defender of traditional family values. As a dark Sith Lord once said,
"Twice the pride, double the fall."
Because the Roman Catholic Church's proclaimed standards are so high, its failures are that much more devastating, especially when institutionally organized cover-up adds insult to injury. When it comes to the church teaching on sex and sexuality, the topic can be discussed in such lofty theological or morally legalistic terms that actually don't yield any practical understanding of what is psychologically healthy. Until marriage, sex is shrouded in such poetic language mixed with a culture of guilt, shame, and taboo. These repressive tendencies and the hyper-spiritualization of our bodies can sometimes lead people to act out in highly inappropriate ways, often out of sheer ignorance. Then there's the issue of power imbalance. The point of greatest controversy in this mess is that Alex Jurado was not merely the legal adult in this case, but also the girl's catechist. Likewise, in clergy sexual abuse cases, the perpetrators held undue power and influence over their victims, who were most often minors. The thing is, even those who should know better cannot act properly without the necessary tools to understand their own bodies, their emotional needs, their psychological health, and how to manage frustration. And the expectation to maintain a pristine image, and in some circumstances, present oneself as functionally asexual, causes much confusion beneath the surface. Nothing catalyzes sexual deviance quite like sexual repression. This situation calls to mind a scandal from my local church that took place in the mid-2010s. A priest serving at my parish met with a woman who claimed to have a sex addiction. She desperately needed help overcoming this, but instead of finding the correct therapeutic resources, it was decided that she needed something akin to an exorcism. To make a long story short, the priest and the woman got inappropriately close. Holy water, a crucifix, and blessing hands were placed on body parts that shouldn't have seen the light of day. Indecent images were shared, and the priest was eventually reassigned far away. I knew this priest personally. He came from a good family and worked as a catechist at our church before entering the seminary. I believe he was a benevolent man, blinded by a moment of weakness and likely cluelessness. The reality is, priest, apologist, or ordinary Catholic in the pews, sexuality is an aspect of our human condition that is deep, natural, sometimes complex, and less spiritual than we might imagine. Sexuality needs exploration, expression, and evaluation in ways that the church is not yet ready to contend with. Treating desire that does not conform to a tight little box as disordered leads to fear, frustration, ignorance, and neuroticism. Whether inappropriate conduct, indecent messages, or abusive behavior, Sometimes these bottled up feelings find their way outside of us in ways that are very harmful to others. Now, I'm not minimizing any of the alleged or convicted perpetrators' responsibility for their own conduct. Just as our parents cannot teach us everything there is to know about navigating the complexities of life, neither can church tradition. There are times when we have to take it upon ourselves to continue to grow in knowledge and acquire the tools, even from outside sources, to become our best selves, to do good and to avoid evil.